Well, welcome to another Hoggs vlog. Yes, we're an hour late. I apologise for that because I went on a bike ride. I got a little bit of a puncture and I had to fix my tyre. So that's why I'm a little bit late. So sorry about that. But we are going to have a little bit of a poll. Do you want me to come on at 7:30 in the morning Indian time or 8:30 in the morning Indian time? Because I want to please you guys and make it as simple as possible. And the other thing is, I've just seen a comment from Bill Gates on here getting stuck into an Australian cricketer. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to have a little bit of banter about that, Mr. Bill Gates, okay? I don't like it when you get stuck into Australian cricketers. Punjab need to sue this idiot Maxwell. You're probably right, but it's a good comment. But anyway, are RCB the real deal? Let's just take a look at that on Hoggs Vlog today, live. Roll the bumper, Shubs. Okay, last night, that was a wonderful game by RCB and Sunrisers Hyderabad. You know, they should have got there at the end of the night, but they didn't. It was Shahbaz Ahmed who bowled a wonderful over in the 17th over and got those 3 wickets. But the big move for me was when Virat Kohli bowled him. So remember, Ahmed, the other night, he got hit for 14 off 1 over and Virat Kohli didn't go back to him. He was a little bit concerned about him. That was when Lynn took full toll. But the big weapon was Warner. Once Warner got out, he brought on Ahmed, and Ahmed bowled a tight over the over before. Both batsmen, Pandey and Bairstow, felt that they could line him up. Both batsmen tried to take him on, and they couldn't get him, and Ahmed got them in there. I thought that over should have made him man of the match because he made a good little cameo there of 14 off 10, batting out number 3 as well, which was an interesting move, but a good move. I think this is where RCB's weakness is that number 3 position. They're trying to not allow Maxwell and AB de Villiers in too early. They want them in a little bit later so that they can have that aggression out the back end of the innings, and they just hope that one of these part-time batters can do the job and put the opposition on the back foot. So they're taking a little bit of a risk there, but the way that they utilised Ahmed with the ball and bat last night, I was very impressed. RCB are looking good. Let's take a look at a little bit of controversy last night. The waist-high full tosses. That's what we're going to have a look at now. Harsha Patel. Can we get the pictures up here? If you look at the one on the right of screen as you look at it, that's the big Jason Holder facing it. That is definitely a no ball. And I heard the coach of Sunrisers Hyderabad, Bayliss, come out and say, well, look, you know, the umpires did a good job by not taking Harsha Patel off because that ball was way down leg side. Well, that ball's just about hitting him on the ribs. I think Bayliss was just trying to be an Australian who's looking for a job over in India and just being polite to the umpires. So for me, that was a threatening ball. And then you look at the one on the left. I thought they should have gone up to the third umpire here with Rashid Khan and had a good look out the side on vision because Rashid Khan is in a crouched position, not standing in an upright position there, and that is very close, but I still think it could have been called a no ball. And David Warner was well in his rights to stand up and say Harsha Patel should not be bowling the next ball. So for me, that is a little bit of controversy. So I don't think, for me, looking at that one on the left, I don't think it was a no ball, but it was called a no ball. And once it was called a no ball, the bowler should have been taken off. Now, back to me, Shubs, please, because we've got to have a good look at this. Yes, I've put on a little bit of moisturiser as well for you guys today. Let's have a look at next talking point, Maxwell's role. Now, can we get that little quote there from Bill Gates again? Please, Shubs. Bill Gates with Punjab Kings 11 have the right to sue Maxwell with his performances last night. Yeah, there we go. Now, Bill, you're probably right there. Glenn Maxwell has not delivered. But if we look at for other teams, but if we look at those particular times, he was being given big money for those particular roles, and he was young. And that amount of money put on a young man like that can really mount the pressure on. And you do feel it. You feel like you've got to perform. And sometimes that takes away the focus of what you actually got to do in the middle. Yes, you want to go out there and perform. There's no doubt about that Maxwell wanted to do that. But just that pressure of being the big prized recruit wore thin on him. And I think being around Simon Kadich over there and having A.B. de Villiers follow him in the batting order has relieved a lot of pressure mentally, and the way that he goes about his game. He can play with a lot more freedom. And he, in the middle order against opposition spinners, is the right formula that they needed, the right mix to fill that void in those middle overs. And I think the way that RCB have set up with A.B. de Villiers coming behind Maxwell right now gives them better depth and more stability in the batting. And I think Dan Christian will be removed and Daniel Sams will come in that lower order. Power hitter from Australia, but also can bowl some quality left-arm fast bowling. And you've also got Jamison down there as well, who proved last night with 3 boundaries in the 1 over, who kept the momentum going for RCB. He can handle a bat down in that lower order. So RCB have got depth in big hitters. It's just at number 3 where they're going to have a few problems this year. So Maxwell's role, I think he's standing up, and I think he's going to have a big year, and he's going to be the key and the reason why RCB get in the finals at the end of the year. All right, let's get on to the game coming up tonight. Let's have a quick look at the teams. Let's have a look at Rajasthan first. I think Rajasthan, I think they're going to make a few changes. Let's get the team up that I've got for them. I think Stokes is injured. He's going home. So I'm going to have Butler coming in out 3. I'd have him opening the batting. Sampson opening the batting with him. I'd have Livingston out 3 and Miller out 4. Sorry, I got those two around the wrong way. Sorry about that, but we are allowed to make mistakes. It's my YouTube channel, and we're going to have a bit of fun with it, so get stuck into me about that. Then we've got Doob, Parag, Tawatia, Morris, Gopal, and Sakaria and Tyagi. I think we've got to go in there with Indian pace bowlers, a predominant Indian bowling attack with an overseas batting attack, and I think that's got better balance. The way that Sakaria bowled the other night was just sensational. They found a new talent there. He hasn't got any height, but the change of pace, his variations with both the old ball and the way that he swung the new ball early on, I was very impressed. And I think Tyagi can come in with that extra pace and bounce. I think that's a more balanced bowling attack. Rajasthan Royals don't have Stokes. Who are they going to replace with Stokes later on? I'd go with Alex Hales. And if Jofra Archer can't get over here, well, we can find another fast bowler to fill the void there. Let's go to the Delhi 11. Well, I wouldn't change it from the other night. I don't think Rabat is going to play, and Nortke has tested positive for COVID-19, so he definitely won't be taking on tonight's game as well. So they'll go with the same team as the other night. Tom Curran won't be playing with his brother or against his brother at the other end. And that got him in a little bit of trouble last game because he's trying to have a little bit of banter with his brother. His brother turned his back on him, and Tom Curran lost focus, and Sam took him to pieces. So I think he'll come back better tonight with a second opportunity. And Ricky Ponting had a chat to him on the bench as well, so he's getting him focused. Just want to have a quick look before we get into the questions. There was a lot of talk about Parag's delivery the other night. I think we've got the photo there. Yes, look at that. That's side arm. Now, people are saying, and Simon Hughes, thank you very much for this photo. Grabbed it off Twitter, but thanks for allowing me to have this. Well, I didn't ask you, but I gave you a bit of a plug. I like your analysis, Simon. Now, for me, that is not underarm. That is still overarm. The reason being, if you come back to me, please, Shubs. The reason being is that if I can get it down, he's sort of come up, over, and down. So it's up and over motion. So for me, that's not a Trevor Chappell type delivery in a crucial moment against New Zealand. Just wanted to get that in there for the New Zealand fans that might be following me as well. Just a little bit of cheekiness. All right, Bill Gates, I had a bit of fun with you. Let's get into the questions. Key matchups. Today, the key matchups for me for Rajasthan and Delhi is how the youthful Rajasthan bowling attack, the Indian bowlers, go against the big powerhouse of the Delhi Capitals batting. I think the batsmen of Rajasthan Royals can really dominate this Delhi Capitals bowling attack, but it's just the way that the bowlers hold the pressure against the like of Shaw, who's found a little bit of form. His back lift's a little bit straighter and his footwork's a little bit more precise as well than what we've seen over the last couple of years. He's improved, and Hetmeyer, when he comes in with his big hitting, I think some of these young Rajasthan bowlers will be a little bit nervous. But I think it's going to be a close game, actually. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I think Rajasthan Royals are going to challenge the Delhi Capitals, and the Delhi Capitals will think we should pencil this in for a win. And when you do that and you think that it's going to be an easy win, that's where you fall away. Now, let's get straight into the questions. I took 10 minutes to get through that, but we had a little bit of fun with it anyway. Sam Colgan, how are you, mate? Good to see you again. Do you like Shahbaz Ahmed batting out number 3? With the list that the Rajasthan Royals have got, not the Rajasthan Royals, RCB have got at the present moment, I don't mind him batting out number 3 because it allows them to have their more dominant batsmen come in later in the order. So you want Maxwell trying to get in there after the 6th over against the spin, and you want AB de Villiers to bat later on in the innings because he can really power in those death overs. I think Virat Kohli around the likes of Padikkal and Ahmed gives them a little bit of solidarity, and you're just taking a risk. You're allowing a young player to go out there with freedom. If he comes off, he comes off. If he doesn't, well, then you think your experienced players can take over, and you're not allowing Ahmed to feel the pressure out that back end. So I think it's a very good move from them. Good question, Sam. Next question, please, Shubs. I'm going to have a bit of a drink of water. Austin Dakuna, how you going, mate? Good to see you on board, and namaste to everyone in India, and g'day everyone in Australia. And I don't know how we do everyone over in America that's following me, and everyone around the world, thanks for joining me. Austin asks, do you see RCB be favourites for the title this year with an informed Maxwell, less dependency on Virat and AB, as well as an improved death bowling? Oh, the way Siraj bowled last night, and Harsha Patel, he was sensational, just his variations. And look, before we really answer that question fully, Harsha Patel, he bowled 2 balls which slipped out of the hand. That's because it's a little bit dewy, but he has so much variation where he's getting dip on those slower deliveries. Now, remember when Boomer was at his best and Malinga was at his best with those slower deliveries that dip, so much harder to hit. Harsha Patel has had added something to his repertoire, which has been missing for RCB and his bowling as well. And Harsha Patel and Glenn Maxwell are the 2 players that RCB need to continue with their form if they are going to have a chance of winning the title this year. I feel that over the years they have been too dependent. They've built their team around Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. You can't just rely on 2 players. You need the full 11 to participate and play to their full ability. I think the other thing too with RCB, if you look at the marketing roles that they have and the amount of advertising they have, they're probably one of the bigger teams when it comes to marketing and getting their players to do all this advertising for promotions for their sponsors and their club as well. And I think that takes has taken away from their focus on their cricket as well. And I think that's affected the way that they've played over the years as well. So less advertising this year, Maxwell in form and Harsha Patel bowling in the death. I think they are the bee's knees to have a chance of winning the title this year. But I still think Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals are slightly ahead of them because they don't have a genuine number 3. Good question, Austin. And gee, did I waffle on that one. Thank you very much for that. Arun Sihitana. Now, Sihitaran. There was someone on Twitter last night that tweeted me and said, I love the way that you get some of these Indian names wrong. It is giving me a little bit of entertainment. So, Arun, thank you very much for asking me the question. Sihitaran, I think I got that right now. SRH players played cross-batted shots for balls spinning away. Do you think batsmen should take risk and target the short boundaries or play for the spin? I think you got to play for the spin. Play with the spin. I just think the Bairstow sweep shot, it was half-hearted. He didn't really put his full weight behind it. He was sort of playing with his back backwards. He wasn't going into the ball. And that's what he generally does when he sweeps. He gets right into that ball, and that body weight is forward. It wasn't there last night. Pandya, I just thought it wasn't there. It was wide. It was a good piece of bowling from Ahmed. And I think the last wicket, well, that was just too big a shot for a batsman that's just come out to the wicket. And Samad did a wonderful job the other day with a cameo at the end against the fast bowlers, and he can hit the spinners as well. But I just think it was too early in the piece, too much of a risk when you've already lost 2 wickets early on to take that spinner on again. Just try and push the one, calm it down, and then attack the next bowler because that bowler will be feeling the pressure to continue the work that young Ahmed's done. So I just think there were 3 decisive shots there that weren't there to hit, and the pressure got to those 3 particular batsmen. So that's what cost SRH the game last night, and that's why I would have thought Shahbaz Ahmed was man of the match rather than Maxwell. But Maxwell's innings was fantastic. Okay, next question, please. Oh, here we go. Baragav Reddy, how are you going? Thanks for your little donation. Do you think Kane Richardson should replace Kyle Jamieson? No, RCB have done all right out the present moment, and when they get Daniel Sams back, when he comes out of his isolation, he'll come in and replace Dan Christian. He can just do the same job as Dan Christian with the bat, but offer you more depth with the ball. That will give you more bowling options and a bigger depth in your batting as well. So out the present moment, with the way that the team is structured and the success they have had, I wouldn't bring in Kane Richardson out the present moment. And plus, you've already got 2 Australians in there. You don't need 3 Australians in there as well. Come on, let's not favour the Australians too much. We've got to look after the Kiwis every now and then. But good question. Sazu, not. That is a very interesting name to get out there. Now, Shubs, you're going to help me with that one afterwards. Shubs is the guy in the background, helping me with all the paraphernalia that comes up here. Ask Hoggy, at Brad Hogg, Rishpa Pant or Sanju Samson, whose captaincy was better in the first game they played? Who do you think should replace Ben Stokes for RR? So I've gone through the team there. Let me just go through it. What have I got? I've got Miller comes in for Stokes, but he'll bat in the middle order. I've got Tyagi coming in for Vora. The reason being is Tyagi's a bowler and Vora's opening batsman, but you've got to have an Indian swapping with an Indian. And then I've got Livingston coming in for Raymond. So Livingston will go up the batting order, and Raymond goes out for Tyagi to bowl there. So you've got an Indian bowling attack with an overseas predominant batting attack. So for me, Ben Stokes is going to be replaced by Liam Livingston. And captaincy-wise, I think Rishpa Pant has got an easier job than Sanju Samson because he's got more experienced bowlers operating at the other end, which can help him out and sort their fields out. So for me, Pant has got the easier role. Sanju Samson's got a lot of young Indian bowlers in his lineup that haven't really experienced the higher levels of international cricket. So he's got to be working with them mentally, but also making sure that they are making the right decisions with their field placements as well. So he's got to sit in there and do more planning with the younger players where Pant doesn't. So, yeah, for me, Samson's got the harder job. Sorry, Sanju, but you've got your work cut out. Next question, please, Shubs. Hi, mate. How you going? This is Piosh Plaz. How are you, mate? Do you think Smith to play today's match? No way. No, I don't think Steve Smith's in there. Marcus Stoinis is a power hitter that gives you a little bit of a extra option with the ball, just in case one of your main bowlers doesn't do the job. And Hetmeyer, You got to have him in the team. The West Indian that can just turn the game around with a high strike rate. I think if we looked out the past IPLs, Steve Smith doesn't have that high strike rate in T20 cricket. So for me, I would not play Steve Smith in this Delhi Capitals team. That's for me. Next question, please, Shubs. Cody Blue, how are you? Sanju looks so brilliant when on song. Why can't he take some time to settle? He definitely can make up for it, but he almost throws away his wicket with poor shot selection. What's up with this guy? Look, I think he's got a fantastic technique, and I think if they go with the team that I've put forward to him, he'll be able to take a little bit more time because he knows he's got better batting depth around him, because that middle order can be fragile. But now with Miller and Livingston to follow him, he can just, and opening with Josh Butler, who's got a very good strike rate. I just think he can be a little bit more conservative and play a Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli role, and try and bat through the innings and finish it off at the end. So I think with the team that I've selected, if they go with it, I think we'll see better shot selection for Sanju Samson. You've got to remember they were chasing 200 the other night, and he had to take a risk at some stage. And the risks he took where he nearly got dropped, he was still trying to play the shot to his strengths. It's not always going to go your way. So sometimes we can be a little bit aggressive on the way that we analyse particular players. So for me, I think he's playing all right. I think the shot he got out to on the last ball of the last game too was there to hit. He just tried to go a little bit squarer rather than straighter and back to hit over that deep, or would you call it? Yeah, deep cover fielder. I was going to say deep mid-off cover type fielder, but you know what I mean. The mid-off was up. The ball was wide. He had to go over that cover region. You've got to back yourself to hit it over those deep fielders if that's your shot. So for me, I think he's going all right. I think you might be a bit hard on him there, but let's watch the way he goes forward with his shot selection moving forward with those better batsmen around him. Good question. Okay, next question. Aditya J. Which team is looking more strong this season? I'm very impressed with Punjab Kings. Punjab. No, Punjab Kings. Got to get that right. The Mumbai Indians obviously are up there, but the Kings and RCB, I've been very impressed with the way that they've gone early on in the season. I think they've got better balance than what they had last year, and I think they're going to put a little bit more or a lot of pressure on the better teams, and I think those two teams are going to be the surprise packet of the year. I still think Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians are going to play off in the final, but I wouldn't be surprised if the two teams that I've just mentioned, the Kings and RCB, aren't in the final at the final stage. So, yeah, they're the two teams I've been impressed so far early on with their improvement from last year. Good question, Aditya. Okay, next question. Pratosh JHA. Sir, please comment something on Babar Azam's achievement, the number one-day player in the world. Babar Azam. So obviously you're from Pakistan, a Pakistan fan, so thank you very much for getting on board. For me, I think Babar Azam is in the top three best players in the world. Kane Williamson, Babar Azam and Virat Kohli in the one-day format. What they do, they're very conventional. They bat right through the innings. They don't panic. But when it comes to the T20 stuff, I don't think those three particular players are sort of in the better echelon there because of their strike rates. But one-day international cricket and across the board in all formats, if you put them in all formats, they're the best players. But Babar Azam's cover drives, straight drives are unbelievable. And just the way that he plays off the back foot as well, he is sensational. And he's up there in the top three. Well, he's number one player in the world at the moment with ICC rankings. But I can't differentiate between Kohli, Williamson and Babar Azam. I think we're very blessed with having those three particular players in international cricket at the moment. But Babar Azam, you got bowled an LBW by a youngster young left arm leg spinner in the nets. Make sure you get him in the lineup sooner than later as well. His name eludes me. He hasn't played the international stage, but he's only a youngster coming through. I'll get that up on Twitter at some stage today. All right, thanks very much for that, Pratush. Niranjan Media. Oh, you're asking the big questions for a big headline here. Hello, Hogg. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Maxwell will be the X-Factor player that RCB is searching for. He is proving now. Just wow to see him playing with responsibility. Look, I've been very impressed with the way that Maxwell has played. He's come in with a different attitude than previous years with the big paycheck that he's got. He's got a cool, calm head in Simon Kadich around him that can control those frustrations or that pressure of the big loot that he's got. So now that Simon Kadich has taken that away, and with AB de Villiers batting behind him, he's got so much freedom. The pressure is taken off his shoulders, and he can go out and do his role. And at the moment, he's delivering, and it's going to be interesting how he goes throughout the tournament. And when you've got a big player like this that is a match winner, let's not get overawed by the two matches that he's played. He's had 2 knocks where he's helped RCB or had a big influence in RCB winning the fixtures. Now, someone like Maxwell, he's got to win that franchise before the finals at least 6 games to get their money's worth. So if he plays a big part in 6 games, RCB will definitely be playing in the finals, and that's what you look at. You don't look at making 50 every game. You look at 6 games that he goes out there and changes the game and wins it off his own back. That's what they'll be expecting with the money that they've paid for him. So, yeah, Maxwell, at the moment, he's got 2 up his sleeve. He's got another 4 to win for RCB for me to make sure that they've got their money's worth. And if they get in the finals, well, he's got to make a big play in all 3 games. That's where he really will be earning the big bucks. But anyway, thanks very much for joining me today. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brad_Hogg. And Rajasthan Royals against the Delhi Capitals. I want to go for the old team in blue. My heart says them, but I think the Delhi Capitals are just going to be a little bit too good with their all-round strength. Anyway, thanks. Have a great day. Namaste.